UFC President Dana White, very generous with his time. First things first, Anderson Silva taking on Chris Weidman. Walk me through the moment when Chris Weidman told you and Lorenzo that not only will I beat this guy, but I'll give him a rematch.
Yeah, so we were in New Jersey. We had a fight out there, and Weidman came up to us and said, I want this fight with Anderson Silva, and after I win and beat him, I promise you I will give you an immediate rematch in New York City.
You're a fight fan as well as a promoter. I know it's a business, but at the same time, I'm sitting there watching the open workouts yesterday, and I got that feeling. I felt like Howard Cosell watching Muhammad Ali. When Anderson Silva does his things, it's just magical. It's beautiful. As a fight fan, though, when you see that, what goes through your mind?
I agree with you 100%. Anderson Silva is amazing, and he's one of those guys like Jordan and some of the other greats that aren't fully appreciated until they're gone. I fully appreciate every time this guy fights. If you are a fight fan or you are a hardcore martial artist, it is impossible not to love Anderson Silva, not to want to watch him work out, not to want to watch him at press conferences, not to want to watch his stare downs, and not to want to watch him perform.
Walk me through when you start reading all these clips and seeing all these videos. Like George was on UFC Central saying not only is Weidman going to beat Anderson, he's going to finish him in the second round. Frankie's trying to convince me. All these different guys are on the roster are saying, no, Weidman's going to beat Anderson, Joe. You need to realize that. I don't see it.
Right. The fighters, the guys who have trained with Weidman, have rolled with him, incredibly respect this guy and think that he is absolutely the man to beat Anderson Silva. And for the rest of the world, all of us who have never rolled with the guy or never trained with him, Anderson Silva is the greatest of all time. And you've heard these arguments before where, and not only that, the odds makers here in Las Vegas, the odds are lower than they've ever been for an Anderson Silva fight. So for guys like us who have seen what he did to Vitor Belfort, what he did to Dan Henderson, and every other fighter, he's never lost in the UFC. He's broke every UFC record there is. It's hard for us to say, yeah, Weidman's going to annihilate Anderson Silva.
But the fact of the matter remains that Weidman does have a chance. A fight's a fight. The guy's got exceptional skills. He can pull it off, but he'd be the super fight killer. That's bad for business. I know, listen, there's money to be made, but that's a super fight killer right there.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. This is the fight business. We don't worry about stuff like that. He, stylistically, first of all, size-wise, they squared off today. They had a stare down. He's actually bigger than Anderson. Anderson is a huge 85-pounder. And he's strong. He's got great grappling. His stand-up is good. So if Anderson Silva comes out and does to him what he does to everybody else, it's just like, it's time for a super fight.
And one of the things about the super fight is Anderson keeps saying, Joe, I want Roy Jones. And I said, well, what do you want him in the octagon? Do you want him in the ring? Like, why do you keep bringing up Roy Jones? And you mentioned that you're talking to Roy Jones. He'll be here Saturday night to watch the fight?
I've been talking to Roy Jones, and Roy Jones will be here Saturday. Roy, Lorenzo, and I are going to meet this weekend and just say, what's going on? What are you two talking about? What's this all about?
There's no way you'd entertain bringing Roy Jones in the octagon, would you?
I have no idea. I'm going to talk to Roy Jones this weekend.
George St. Pierre taking on Johnny Hendricks. Big fight, obviously. He's here. You think he'll come to the fight and watch a fight and pay attention to what Chris Weidman's doing? Because everyone's talking about the Chael Sonnen blueprint, which, no, he never beat Anderson, but the blueprint is there. And if Weidman does his thing, George will be paying close attention. John Jones is all paying attention. What do you think this little triad's happening right now? What's going on through their minds?
There's no doubt everybody's watching. First of all, George St. Pierre refused to even think about setting up a fight with Anderson Silva because he's not going to win on Saturday, according to George St. Pierre. Weidman will win this fight, and there's no reason for me to fight Chris Weidman.
How hard is it to pull off this incredible fight week right across Las Vegas, selling the city, different events at different cities? It's a fan's dream, to be honest.
It really is. If you are a fight fan and you are not in Las Vegas this week, that sucks. It is unbelievable to be able to pull these things off, because I remember when I was a fan and I used to go to these, you know, down at Foxwoods Casino, they used to have all the fighters, you know, sitting at tables, and you'd walk around and talk to them all and meet them all. And I thought that was amazing. What we're doing here is unbelievable.
Thank you for your time. Get some rest.
Thank you, brother.
There you go, UFC President Dana White, as we get ready for UFC 162 MGM Grand Saturday night, Las Vegas.